How we doing, Lions? Good morning, good morning. Pixel. Previously on Kimba TV. Edmund says, are you still bullish overall with the traditional market reacting to Trump's tariffs and the S&P about to shift into a bearish pattern? Yes. I don't know how long you've been watching me, Mr. Edmund, but I've been anticipating this for quite some time. I'm okay with this. That's something that we drew almost a year ago. God damn, who the fuck is top longing? Jesus, there's always some dumbass top longing, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing. A little bit of a pullback today, huh? Little pullback today, my boy. Let me see what S&P order flow looks like. Okay. Settlement is 9093. Have I that already? Yes. Yep. If you're top longing, you're eating top ramen. Am I right? Finally have some caffeine, man. 11 minutes until U.S. market. Any questions, y'all? What you guys thinking? Here's CME stuff. Where the fuck? I can't wait until I get back on my desktop. ETH. Looks like we went and cleaned the Choi value. I'm going to go ahead and take this off because it already got tapped. Not really relevant anymore. I guess we could keep the fibs on, but yeah. Yeah, will these levels hold, right? Some altcoins have scalp long opportunities that might come before Bitcoin. Anyways, that 20 million top long should get squeezed out. Activated is asking, is it possible that after market open we will retest a value area high, and if we fail we drop to value area low? Sure, but don't forget the stuff that we've been talking about the last couple days. Make sure you have S&P Confluence. I'm gonna be watching to see what S&P does at those bad lows, the funky lows. So if it's a swing fail on S&P, I don't know if you really want to be in a short. But let's see. The problem is I mean, you know me, I'm a big level to level guy. So you get rejected at that line, you know I'm going to be waiting for around 86, 85. Yeah, let's see what S&P does, man. Zarya says break below previous day value area low, next level 81.4 monthly value area low. Nope, not necessarily, Zarya, but there's really, it's up to you. Like, just make sure you have levels identified to the downside and to the upside. Yes. And use every day as kind of like an opportunity to test yourself, you know? If you make it a habit of asking if your level is right or wrong, it's gonna, I think, start to create like a little bit of a reliance. Yeah. What I like to do is identify levels and then just have them pixel fuck. And then that's how I start to build confidence that the levels are actually Gucci. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, I mean, those levels aren't wrong, Zarya, but I think there's one or two more in between. I mean, you're talking about 87.4 and 81.4. That's a $6,000 range. So for me, I've got at least one or two more levels in between. Yep. But it's up to you. You have all your TPO stuff, right? So that's CME. This is like, you know, if you need like previous day point of control, EQ, value area low. We talked about this yesterday, if you remember, chat. Right? What would be better to do, YCMIA, is you start taking down notes. Why don't you do this, YCMIA? I want you to note every single day what the reaction is like. And then April, I want you to regroup with me and tell me what you think the probabilities are based off of your 30 days of data from March. Let's do that. You got to start doing that for you to be able to answer that question. Okay? It's not really so much about like knowing the information. It's better to be able to know how to collect data so you can see what the information is telling you. It might change, YCMIA. I've said this pretty much every single day for almost like 4 weeks now. You have value area high, value area low. You can have settlement near the value area high, but it's outside. You can have settlement near the value area high, but it's inside. You can have settlement near the value area low, but it's outside. You can have settlement near the value area low, but it's inside. And then you can have the settlement inside of the value range, right? And then from there, the price is either above, inside, or below. And all you have to do is just remember just write down what the outcome was. Like, let's say, for example, you write March 11th. Price was outside, settlement was near. So do this. Price, okay, was it inside or outside value? Okay, settlement, where was it? Was it near value area low and inside? Or was it outside? And then what happened? Outcome. What did it do? And start making a cheat sheet for yourself. Okay? I'll have a little cheat sheet that I use. Like I'll make one for you guys and I'll share it in the Discord. But if you haven't started to do that, then I would assume that you don't care to know, and you're going to be asking every single day, what does this mean? What does that mean? What should I do? Is this a bullish retest? Should I do a bear? Because you don't know. And it's not really so much about like the actual knowledge. It's really just about how do you go about figuring this shit out on your own. It's the effort. And there's going to be things that maybe I can't see your question, or maybe I don't know, right? But you're going to run into like scenarios where you don't really know what you're supposed to do. So you need to have a protocol in place to figure that out. Sounds good? But start putting together a little cheat sheet like that. YCMIA, it'll be the most alpha thing that you could do for yourself. Okay? So, right, I mean, I don't know if you can see like the S&P order flow. I don't know if you have this. But can you tell like the selling buying pressure going up, selling pressure going down, and it's on increasing volume? So S&P is bullish right now, and they're saving all this shit. Look at this low. Yeah. So when I see weak lows like that, funky lows, my first question is going to be, what's VWAP going to do? And then I'm going to start to do something like this. right? And then obviously you've got a naked point of control right there and a single print as well. Okay. So yeah, and it's only been an hour since US market open. I mean, if you think that the markets have decided which way to go in the first 60 minutes, I don't know. I mean, I think it's better to just be a little bit more patient. Jared, love your stream. I love you, Jared. Any questions? 15 minutes on the 30-minute candle close. Omar says, hey, Kimba, what would be the prep for CPI look like? Like we said, Omar, it depends on today's settlement close. Okay? Like, for example, Omar, it's level by level, meaning you've been here all day, right? So you know that for me to think about longing Bitcoin, I would want the clean, like I need to see the reaction of S&P down there, right? It's a funky low down there. Yeah, that's not debatable. Okay, at some point that's going to get cleaned. I don't know if it's today. I don't know if it's tomorrow. And even if it's tomorrow, Omar, do I want the local high or the low to be set on a Friday? Right? These are all things that you know, that I know, we all know, right? So what I'm going to try to do is, one, do we grab those funky lows today or is it tomorrow? And if we do grab it today or tomorrow, how do we grab it? Okay. If we do grab it or if we don't, I'm still going to need to know what the value range was for today when we go into tomorrow. And then based off of how tomorrow ends and has range, then I'll know what to do for Monday. So I don't know how many CPIs you've been with me, but Thursday and Fridays before CPIs, I've noticed is insignificant. Like, it doesn't really set the high. It doesn't really set the low. It really doesn't set momentum, to be honest. So my main goals on Thursday and Friday is to treat it like a dress rehearsal day, and I don't want to get got. And more than Bitcoin, I'm going to try to see what S&P wants to do. Yeah, so I have the prep work is we're taking it day by day. So if you ask me at the end of today what I think for tomorrow and CPI after we've swept the funky lows, I will have a better idea. But like, do we sweep the funky low today? Well, maybe we don't sweep the lows until Tuesday or Monday next week. That's fine. You know, but depending on what it does, I know how to shift and change and adapt because this is chess, right? I'm not trying to predict the fourth move that my opponent is going to make from now. Okay. That's what it is when people ask me, hey, are we longing or shorting on CPI? You want me to predict the fifth move that my opponent is going to make when I play him chess? So I'm thinking of if this, then this, but if this, then this. And I'm ready to react based off of how levels are claimed and lost. And that's, in a nutshell, how I'm preparing for CPI. I'm taking it day by day, level by level. My narrative completely changes if we swing fail the funky low today. So I think, like, if you put you've been here all day, right, Omar? Like, if you put a gun to my head and you said, what do you want today? I want to swing fail of those funky lows. I don't know if I'm going to get that today. All right. But at least it gives me an idea of what I should start thinking about for market sentiment, you know, but it's hard for me to think about taking a Bitcoin long if I don't even know how S&P is going to react at those funky lows. I don't know if it's a swing fail and it's a bullish reaction, or I don't know if we completely melt through that. Okie dokie. And if it does melt through or if it does swing fail, then I know what the next level is. Do you know what the next level is for S&P? Let me show you, brother. Do you see that? It's a pretty big drop. You see why I can't long Bitcoin until I see that reaction? Because the next shitty imbalance is super down there. Right? You see it? So for now, if we're gonna scalp long Bitcoin, there's a couple of altcoins that might be worthy of some scalp longs, you know, like I said in the morning. But what are you trying to do, Omar? You don't have to be like polite. You can straight up ask me, hey, are you longing this? Hey, are you shorting that? You can tell me, hey, I'm thinking about longing this, you know, if the data is this and this and this, and I can give you like an honest critique, like, but I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. It's hard for me to long if I can't at least see the reaction at those funky lows. Phil Myberry says, did you ever take that AVAX thing? Yes, I do have an AVAX long, but I think I already shaved 30%. I'll show it to you when we get it, but yeah. I forgot where we had the... Yeah, so initially I wanted to long like this zone, right? I think for a lot of altcoins, I took this one. Yeah, and then who asked me about this? Fuck, who asked me about AVAX? Oh yeah, Phil My Berries. Yeah, so, but just like Biddy, brother, I think the better long would be $16 next. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, if I have my own biases, right, Phil? But just like I always said, man, like I gotta be objective, and so I'm gonna continually change, or I'm gonna continuously, you know, take them, especially the ones that I'm really, really paying attention to, like how I was on AVAX. But I would think that it's gonna go to 16, Phil. So EU says, can you look at DOT, brother? What do you think? What do you think? What am I waiting for on DOT, EU? You know this. Some of y'all already know what I'm gonna tell you. You just like, you're not believing in yourselves. Okay, EU, you know goddamn well we don't need to look at DOT. What do you think I'm waiting for, man? Yeah, so it's right in front of your face. Now, do you want to talk about scalp longs on smaller time frame as it continues to create shitty lows? You know, then that's a different story. But, you know, we're below the levels of interest, right? So the only thing that I'm waiting for is that 3.5 sweep that I've been waiting years for. Yeah, so if you want to talk about, like I said, you know, scalp longs as it continues to just stack up shitty lows, that's a different story. I mean, if you want to talk about anchored VWAP and confluence with, you know, golden pocket and 7.5, I think you can do it. You know, fixed range volume profile. Sure, you could go ahead and scalp longs, you know, but for me, I'm waiting for the 3.5, right? And I've been waiting for that since 5 years ago. Goddamn. Sounds good to you. I wish there was more to report, but there isn't, unfortunately. How many people in longs right now? How many people in longs? What do you guys think about this today? Lion Cubs, do you know how to play this? So it's always the same thing. First one arrives, so you can see that one cleaned. Second one cleans the early longers. And then third one is a higher low. All right, and since the third one is supposed to be a higher low, the invalidation is always the lower low. Okay, it would be the same with Biddy. Value area low, inval, but you know, I don't think that's good, but if you are wanting to take it, that's what the book says is how you should take it. So, you know. Yeah. Any questions? You guys okay? But at this point, once the 5-minute structure changes, you know, you can put your stop loss at break even. So if you did take the long, ideally you can't lose, right? So if it works and it goes, awesome. But if it doesn't work out, make sure that you don't really lose much if you can help it. Drax says, I was in longs, but got stopped out, probably got in too early. That's okay. So what you want to know is the 3 structure pattern, the candle pattern. So like I said earlier, first one arrives, second one cleans, and the third one is supposed to be a higher low. And so the level that you identified, whether it's a funky low or a value area low, that's the entry. The stop loss is the structure change, which is the lower low. And it just kind of, you know, like I said before, everybody has different risk tolerance, aggressiveness, conservativeness. And so the book says you should move your stop loss to break even when it makes a higher high. It technically has not yet, but as soon as it breaches that yellow line, you're supposed to put your stop loss at break even. If you wanted to be the most conservative and protect your capital. If you really are adamant about holding on to the trade and you don't want to get stopped out, then you got to put it behind the 75786 minimum. But that puts you below the value area low anyways. I feel like we had an amazing day today. You know what the juiciest part about a day like today is? It helps me feel, whether it's all in my head or not, but it gives me a little bit more confidence and it gives me a little bit more conviction in how I want to play this, you know, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. That's really the ultimate juice for today. Obviously, I could bomb tomorrow and it could be back to square one, but I like what we were able to do today with understanding the weak lows. We're probably going to get swept. I think we're showing really good patience with structure and whatnot, open interest. You know, regardless of what S&P does now for Biddy, I'm a big level-to-level guy. We already talked about 85, 86. So even if it gets there, like after I end the stream and it's, you know, after daily candle close or whatever, you know, you guys are good to go. Says anyone waiting DOT at 3.5? Did you? Please don't tell me you missed the TA from earlier on DOT.
Market makers.
Everyone! Exclamation everyone. Okay, now I'm starting at 8. Boy, why do I feel like it's gonna go lower than 3 now?
Market long, market short.
Chat, is it just me or y'all starting to feel like actually we're gonna lose 3 actually? Because everybody's trying to long this bitch right there. Let's make sure that the open interest looks good if we're gonna take a long on DOT, okay? Let's let everybody that wants to take the long first get wiped, right? Trident. Fibmat says, I knew you would say that. Hey, let's go. I mean, you've got a pirate badge on, right? You're a pirate lion, right? You know where the treasure is. Fuck, man. Now I guess we'll wait for $2.50, right? Not $3.50. But I'm half joking and half serious though. You know, let's definitely keep an eye on that open interest. You know, if the open interest goes up right away, it's not the best. We just went over the higher time frame concept of, I think it's going to be like a 4-hour swing fail. So it's like a 30-minute, 1-hour failed auction type of shit, in my opinion, on DOT. So whether it's, you know, whatever it is, let's keep an eye on making sure that we don't get got. Haskir in the building. Chris BX says 2 would be crazy on DOT. Then it's if we polled all of retail, Chris, and we said what would make you sell all the DOT that you have, that's where we should long, right? So Let's go. 24 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get Juicy Maguchi? The math is the math. Yeah, and you know what's interesting, Chef, is if you're hella bullish, okay? If you're hella bullish, Chef Wonderful, there's two things that I want you to kind of start to maybe take note of is the local low or the local high. You would usually want it to be set at the beginning of the trading week when there's momentum. Not when the momentum is dying off because people are leaving early on Friday or, they're, heading out for the weekend or there's options expirations or blah, blah, blah. The other thing too is if you're hella bullish and you want to go to like 130, in my opinion, you don't leave imbalances that are stored for later. So things like an unfinished low, a poor and a weak low. Things like a big ass CME gap. So this could go pop to like 100, but you would be worried about being able to penetrate that with so much unfinished business left behind. So, two things, Chef Wonderful. One is the timing. You want to set the high or the low with momentum. So that usually means Monday or Tuesday. And if you want this bitch to go to like 100, now if you want to scam pump from 90K to 100, the market's going to give you that easy, no problem. It doesn't really need to trap people. It doesn't really need to, do this or that. But if you want something like 130 or higher, like me, then in my opinion, I think you close that gap, you breach that gap, and you leave the bottom with a good buying tail. You don't leave it ugly like it is now. So like if you want to scam pump to a hundo, no problem. That could happen right now, okay? But if you want something like 130 or all-time high, in my opinion, I think it would be better if you clean that business. Yeah. So because I wouldn't be scared of shorting like somewhere between 95 and 100. Thomas says short at 97, 98. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 really nice levels there that I would be, thinking about, and same with ETH, to be honest. But let's get this juice today, chat. We got 18 minutes on the hourly candle close. Can we give it up for S&P Blue Gammas? What do you guys think about S&P Blue Gammas today? Obviously, the trading day is not done yet, but not too shabby. I feel like we held it together pretty well. I think we had, collectively as a group, I think we had excellent patience, excellent anticipation, and what a day. Yeah, I think, for me, it was an amazing day. Cause just kind of being able to see what S&P was going to do. Bitcoin was going to follow S&P regardless. So, if S&P was going to pump, Bitcoin was going to go. If S&P was going to dump, Bitcoin was going to dump. So that's not really too difficult to anticipate, but just being patient, not getting got, understanding where the levels were. Even this is kind of interesting if it is going to be a bearish retest. Everything fucking off of VWAP, right? We talked about how that's a bad low, so it's not done yet to the downside. Easy money, Bugatti money. RTH is going to be closing in 33 minutes. All right. Yeah, let's get it. Where's my boy Omar at? Omar, you want to talk about this real quick? So let's say, for example, right, that you shorted the VWAP, right? Let's say this stopped you out in tiny profit, okay? You might be thinking, how do I play this next? You want to know how, Omar? First off, is that a good high or a bad high? So I'm never going to re-enter on the 7.5. Okay, look at where it went to. And obviously VWAP. Okay, but look at the candle close. Okay, a lot of times when it's about, some people are going to be anticipating a failed auction, right? Some people, will ask, hey, Kimba, did you take the short? And there's nothing wrong with 886ers or the 75ers or the 75786ers, and that's your stop loss. Some people are going to be in that short. I won't be in that short. You know how I get into this short? If it's funky like that, I'm not going to take the top, but I'll go like this. And if it really is bearish, it's not going to be able to hold that as support. And what you'll often see is that the evidence comes right in front. It's the first, when it tries to go, it'll just, it'll shit itself. It can't hold. And that's when I will take the bearish retest right here. And then this guy right here would be the stop loss. And so this short stopped out in tiny profit. If I'm going to short again, this is where I'm in. Entry, stop loss, assuming that this is the market shift and it's still a lower high. So that's it.
You just said.
It's a lot easier, I think, to just kind of wait. That's like if you really want to chase the shit. And remember, if you're bullish, you're hoping that the 618 holds and you got to have a probability to make a higher high. If you're bearish, that's how I would be playing it. Okay? And guess what? You know what you could even do? Like, let's say, for example, you fuck this up or it doesn't really work out the right way, or Kimba, I don't know, Kimba drew fucking 886. What is this? Is this different? If you don't know what the fuck is going on, you always know that you can just play the actual confirmation of the failed auction. So if it really is a failed auction, it changes structure below the level, and so it makes a lower low outside of the neckline. So there's always another trade, and it's all about your risk reward. Sometimes you might wait a little bit longer and the data changes and it's even more bearish than earlier, even though it's a little bit of a worse entry. Now you see people trapped or et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to freak you out, okay, brother? But do you know where I'm looking at for Sol? Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. I'm kind of interested in the 90 to 95 zone on Sol. Okay. I already tried longing Sol from the 140, 135. And I came on Sunday night, I believe it was, to shave some of this. Like, I showed up and I was like, we're getting into resistance a little bit. We got to shave a little bit. I think that's the Sunday night stream. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you can hold point of control and get above 158 and then, obviously turn this big resistance into support, I think that's the higher time frame stuff. But not only do I think this, the previous value range gets broken, but I think it goes all the way down to the next volume cluster. So make sure that you have fixed range volume profile on here, fixed range volume profile on here. Somehow, some way, you need to box this and start to break this down, however way you see fit. But for me, this is the next thing. And then if you do all of the volume stuff, then you're going to end up with right around 95-ish, like I did. But that doesn't mean put blind limits in. Clearly it's got to give structural edge, open interest edge, and divergence edge. I would love a trident play like this because this could still go if it can hold this. any long, they're gonna have their stop loss either on this low or probably this one. But I think no one's really keeping a lower low, especially the way that S&P and Bitcoin is looking. So, yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit. I already fucked around on the like so long. I'm pretty much giving up on like the so long. I'm gonna get stopped out for whatever I have left over, and that's okay. And it's the same with ETH. So, Crypto Sing says, "Do you have to KYC for the exchanges for the giveaway?" No, you don't need to, and please don't. You know, you can if you want to. Brother, you don't need to make a deposit. Okay? You don't need to trade on that exchange to be eligible for the giveaway. You don't need to do KYC or verifying your phone number or anything of that sort. The only thing you have to do is make an account under the referral link. So if you do win, I can batch process all of the winnings automatically to you guys. I love you guys. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow bright and early. Let's get it. Crypto Summit tomorrow. Peace, everybody. Good day.